Yeah, thanks everybody for staying. I think it has so far been an amazing day with a lot of opportunities of discussions inside and outside the forum here. Big thank you for Bridge for Life for organizing this for us and giving us this discussion forum and opportunity and bringing us all here to Leeds. So.
It is our pleasure, and we thank you in return for attending the program, because it's you that make it, but also new speakers. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Speaking about speakers, we have our final speaker coming up. It's my pleasure to introduce Keziah Crick, who is a lead clinical scientist from our own service at the Royal Free. We have been so lucky to get her on board, coming from the abdominal perfusion service at Cambridge with her full background in all kind of machine perfusion technologies, and then helping us to kickstart our normothermic program, and then getting all the other perfusion programs up and running, including our latest addition to restart veno-venous bypass. And Keziah has a background training to be a cardiac perfusionist, so everything is easy peasy for her, and we are so happy to have her. So, Keziah, you are going to take us through the practical implementation of a Hope program, as we have seen at the Royal Free and then way beyond. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be the last speaker. It's interesting that everyone went through having multiple machine perfusions at their institute, clinical trials, sampling, but chicken before the egg. How do you get it? So, in fear of being repetitive, I'm going to skip some slides because my colleagues went through some bits of the Hope, which is good, it's fine. So, in most centers, there is a disparity between the number of good quality organs available for transplant and those that waiting on the waiting list for a liver transplant. So, how do you get novel technology at your institute? It's about change. It's about innovative change. When you think about change, what comes to mind? Question to the floor. Yes?
I found it the most difficult to implement new culture, to change culture.
Perfect. Organizational culture. Anything else? Yes?
Behavior change.
Behavior change. Yeah?
Making it sustainable.
Sustainable change. What you need to implement change is good leadership. So, with implementing innovative change, we went through a cycle of first grasping interest in the department. To get interest, you have to have good and effective stakeholder engagement. Internal, surgeons, anesthetists, finance. External, companies. How are they going to help you build this dream to implement this program? It comes with robust planning. You have to assess the institute's readiness to accept this change. Identify the resource that are required, and then develop the protocols and standard SOPs to get this done. So, just to get back into the psychology of the change, intellectual stimulation is key. What is intellectual stimulation? This is important in your internal stakeholder engagement. You have use evidence-based practice to influence your introduction of the new program. Having individualized consideration your staff that are doing these operations, they need to have something personal to gain from this. That's how you keep your staff in your team, and that's how you allow for sustainable change. And that influences employee commitment. Are you going to pay them well? Are you going to respect them as part of your team? Are you going to allow them to contribute to innovation? And overcoming challenges in organizational change, as Prof says, organizational cultures are difficult to overcome. So once you have all your procedures sorted, you have thought through your business plan, you have a dedicated team to contribute to these programs, you hire the right people. To sustain that change, you need to ensure that there is continuous education, continuous training, and a plan to increase the optimization, improve the optimization of that program. So this is our team. We are made of, I don't think Jen likes this picture. We are made up of, there are 7 of us. How we pitched the business case were to include having our NORS program being covered by the perfusionists, or machine perfusion programs being covered by the perfusionists. But to buy in, you can include certain aspects in your institute that needs help. So we are Band 6s, our trainees are Band 6s, our senior staff are Band 7s, and you have the lead clinical scientist, myself, Band 8. So you have a highly qualified team. How are you going to pitch this to your finance managers or your ops managers that we are worth this investment? So look into gaps in your department that needs to be fine-tuned. So for example, we do HTA inspections. We are in charge of the HTA inspections. We do the National Transplant Network follow-up for all liver transplant patients at Royal Free. We also, as I said, cover the NORS rota, and that gave our higher-ups an idea of what we can contribute to the department or to the hospital. Just going through how we encourage sustainable change by incorporating training and education. And as you can see, we have annual workshops that are facilitated by our lovely team at Bridge to Life, and we involve all teams in the patient web of care. So surgical teams, anesthetic teams, nursing teams, and we invite the ops so they can see what we are doing. Those who are not in theater seeing what you surgeons are doing, that they need a perfusionist to do, don't understand the seriousness of the job. They won't appreciate the seriousness of the job. So again, a key factor is internal stakeholder engagement. So, as you can see, we have some surgeons here. This is Maria to the back, at the door, one of Bridge to Life's lovely clinical scientists. And ensuring that we have these little workshops at your hospital allows for new staff to be exposed to these programs, and staff who are already involved to have refreshers. I'm not going to go through this again. It's been showed many times. So in terms of the indications for Hope, we mainly use it for logistic purposes, and what you can really pitch to your department is the ease of application, and make that business case comparative with cost effectiveness for your more expensive programs, for example, NRP or NMP, and couple that with evidence-based practice by centers that are pioneering, such as Leeds and Newcastle. Again, not going to go through the clinical outcomes. It's been gone through many times before. Once a program is in place, audits and quality improvement projects should be continuously revised. And that shows that you haven't just implemented a program and have it there on your sidelines. This is how you keep effective engagement, by showing a commitment to improve all your quality outcomes and your KPIs. Find new ways to develop the service. Keep it interesting. As I said, individual consideration. Keep your staff invested in the program, and they would give you back tenfold. Obviously, there are challenges to consider in implementing any new program. You may have technical complexities. Again, the team at Bridge Life is very supportive, and they are very proactive in staff training and bringing their expertise. They are on call 24/7. You can ring Dan. You can ring Dan, and you feel a sense of support, and that is your external stakeholder engagement that you need to nurture and keep close to you. Future directions, I think Emily went through some really good slides in terms of her research and biobank on having samples from these cases. Even though in the NHS our main goal is towards our patients, patient safety, good patient outcome, the last thing I want to say before I leave is to ensure that the people you work with like working with you. Ensure that they feel psychologically safe to contribute to that innovation. They feel that they are appreciated. They feel committed. And that way you don't have to train a new staff every 6 months. I would like to acknowledge Mr. Teresa, who's not here, especially. But just like to say thank you to the Bridge to Life team for having this lovely workshop, this lovely masterclass, sorry. My team, the consultants at Royal Free, and the theatre staff, and the liver transplant coordinators. Thank you very much.
Don't run away, Kezia. There might be some questions. You're encouraged.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for taking us through a much wider aspect of how to think about implementing a program, how to arrange everything around it, how to implement culture change in the organization, and then how to maintain a staff fully engaged with the service. I think you're absolutely right, and there are a lot of considerations within the transplant community, not only in the UK, of how we can keep young people interested in the service with the unsocial working hours that we all experience, which machine perfusion might contribute benefit to. So thank you so much. So are there any questions to Keziah and how she, with her team, established all these machine perfusion programs, including Hope? And then there are a few actually questions laid out in the program here, which I would then read out to you if there's no further questions from the...
Sure.
Anyone? How did Newcastle implement their Hope service?
It was quite ad hoc, really. I mean, at first we used Medtronic kits, similar to what Mike and Sarah used for the kidney service, and it was a kit that wasn't made specifically for Liver Hope, and it was done mainly by Rod and other research fellows, and then we moved to the VitalSmart device and then started doing it formally, but still it's a consultant-delivered, consultant-led service, and think we'd love to have something that's more similar to what you guys have got, where you've got a team of people who can take ownership of it and then run a sustainable service.
But you can imagine we fought for this
Yeah,
big
yeah,
time, yeah, and we're super happy to have it. Any other services who would like to share how they implemented machine perfusion and sustain? Because you rightly pointed out, implementing is one step, sustaining is another big step. Yeah, please, Barbara.
Yeah, I mean, despite we've been having machine perfusion for 5 years, I hope for 4 years, we still haven't won our battle to get perfusionists. I think that has played a role in our choice of machine perfusion, because right now, by using Hope, while you're benching and while you're doing the hepatectomy, there's lots of people in theatre, and literally every single one of them can do it. That's how we've been doing it. So 80% of the ODPs that are part of the transplant team can put the machine together and run the Hope for us. And they feel safe doing that because we are in the theatre. So even if they are not a perfusionist, they are happy helping out, and that's how we've been doing it. With a bit more ideas of what we're doing in the future, like logistics and having it overnight and all of that, we will definitely need a perfusionist for that.
And yeah, that would even be more true for normothermic machines, that you cannot rely on someone doing this at the side while you're focusing on your surgery. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah. So it says here that we shall discuss pitfalls. So what challenges or problems did you face implementing machine perfusion services in the NHS setting at the Royal Free?
I think everyone can concur the main problem is finance. How would you pitch to the finance team that we are worth the money or the investment? It is beneficial to use other centers' data. It's also beneficial to have a projection of how many more liver transplants you would potentially be transplanting with the new service, and the reduction of retransplantation, which by itself costs, is it 70,000? Look into your ICU stay. So look into data from other centers that have reduced ICU stay because of machine perfusion programs at their center, and use that as a comparative as to where you intend for your center to achieve to. And I think that's a compelling argument that you can start with.
And any pitfalls, hurdles that you were struggling with taking beyond the financial aspects?
Internally, again, organizational culture is a major factor to face inertia. Not many people like change. They're used to doing something, it works, they're not going to try to retrain their mind. And you have to have support. So having someone like Prof, for example, who will maybe have your back and petition for this change is very beneficial. But it is about effective engagement. It has to reach the audience that you want it to reach. And again, using evidence-based practice to show that this is something that will benefit the department, the hospital, does tend to sway some minds to the positive aspect of it.
Good. Yeah, there are a few more questions laid out here, and I think they are mainly to the audience. Yeah. Would we see any benefit in setting up a WhatsApp group like NRP has nationally? And would this be helping the Hope community in the country to share experience, data, or is this too much. Any ideas from Newcastle, from us?
The idea behind that, if I can just interject for a moment, was for this group, let's say, as the first Hope Masterclass, to be included in the WhatsApp group, so that then Dan will send you regular updates, because he doesn't have much else to do really at the moment, but there we are. But no, so that was the idea behind it, to keep everybody up to speed with what's going on within the group.
It's a good. It's a really good platform to share experiences and etc.
Basically would mean everybody. You would invite participants and then see whether there would be an uptake for this.
Yeah, I just think if that's something that people would be interested in, it would be.
So from my perspective, I think that as a discussion forum would be nice, although I think we would all appreciate that the complexity and potential pitfalls that we can ask for help are much more complex in the NRP and normothermic setting than there might be in the hypothermic setting. So
Sure.
Yeah.
We can
Take a note of that. That's a good sales.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We have friends in Organox. So.
Good. Okay, any further questions? Then I think we can come. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Keziah. Shall we come to the conclusion of the... So, I see that I shall not be the only one here on stage. So, Dan and Nigel, do you want to come and join up front here? So I think we have seen a very well organized meeting. It was a pleasure being here. It was a pleasure to discussing topics around machine perfusion with the audience. You've seen there have been in here and outside a lot of discussions, everybody working in the same direction, trying to share ideas and gaining from others. A few take-home messages. So I've not been so aware of longer preservation times in Hope, and I've not been so aware of Hope being potentially beneficial for DBD organs as well. These are take-home messages from me personally, and although we have applied Hope with longer preservation times already in our service, so it's good to hear that we haven't done anything absolutely terrible, and so it's reassuring. I think we have seen that there is still a lot of debate around which type of machine perfusion is best, whether combinations of different types of machine perfusion are best. We've seen that concluding this is very difficult because of the very inhomogeneous organ pool that we are handling, and if we would then add on top the complex differences of the recipients needing different organs, and I think that is one of our main jobs as transplant surgeon, is to match organs and their quality with the right recipients. So there are still a lot of questions, there's still a lot of opportunity for trials, for comparison, for further Cochrane analysis when more evidence comes up. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Sam back presenting more once we have generated more evidence. And and we have seen that especially trying to improve DCD livers and liver utilization is playing a more and more important role in UK liver transplantation, because the number of DBD donor organs is either stagnatic or actually decreasing, so we will more and more rely on DCD organs, and therefore the need for some kind of machine perfusion, which I think we have seen, we might all agree. And I've heard this from Newcastle, I've heard this from Leeds, that no DCD organ should still be transplanted only after cold storage, should see some kind of machine perfusion to improve quality. So that would be what I've taken home, and I've truly enjoyed being here, and thanks again for organizing.
So I got the easy task. I just blown away by the support that you've given us for the event. It's a really intriguing industry that we work in, and since I started working within transplantation, the growth of what we do and the differences that we do, it's brilliant. And that's our job is to get a device out there to save more lives, and without you we can't do that. So it's really humbling to do that. I'd just like to say a big thank you to Jörg for moderating today. Our speakers, some fantastic content and some really good discussion points. There's a lot for us to take back as well. You've already touched on this, the whole DCD aspect. Yes, we're making a difference with that, but DVDs are also something that we're looking to promote as well. Hope, we're a Hope company, but without the other models, that are out there, we can't work. I don't think we just need Hope. I think there are other things that we other methods that we need to use in the combinations, and the discussion today I think backed that up. So big thank you to you guys for attending. I'd also like to say thank you to Nigel for actually smiling today. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And can we please give Fiona a big round of applause for putting this together, because without Fiona this wouldn't have happened.
Well, no, I was just very much you taking words out of my mouth, actually, Dan. As usual, that's fine, I don't care. But thank you again, each and every one of you, for being here today. Thank you to the speakers. Between both groups, let's say, you have made the day. There's no two ways about it. I feel it's been a very successful day. That success is yours, and that's what it's all about. And this is the first masterclass that we hosted. We're looking to do more, maybe not just liver, maybe something else. We don't know at this point in time. The most important thing from our perspective was, is it worth it? Is it really worth investing a lot of time, energy, and a degree of cash as well into making these events work? Because if they do work and they are worthwhile, and you tell us, yes, that was worthwhile, then we'll go with it. We will run with it. We will be sending out a survey, I believe, for your feedback. We would really be very, very grateful for completion of that. It won't be a long one. It will only take you a few moments. But the most important thing about that is the accuracy and honesty coming out of it. If you think something could be done better, please tell us, because otherwise nothing ever improves. You know that. Okay. So I'll just add my thanks to you all, along with Dan, and especially again to Fiona, because without her this would not be happening, I can promise you. So thank you one and all. Have a safe journey home. You can go now.